Welcome to Survival Recap. In today's video, we will be going through the 2018 action sci-fi film, Rampage. Let's get started. In 1993, a new technology to treat incurable diseases through genetic editing called CRISPR was invented and then was quickly misused to develop dangerous experiments. Back to the present day, in a space station called Athena-1, a lab rat has been mutated with CRISPR and kills the entire crew except Dr. Carrie Actons. She informs the control room about the situation of the space station while going towards the escape capsule. Unfortunately, the control room refuses to unlock the capsule and Claire Wyden, CEO of the responsible biotech company called Energen, forces Carrie to retrieve the mutagen samples or she will be left dead there. She goes back to the wrecked ship and manages to secure 3 samples. She is then spotted by the monstrous rat, but is able to get into the escape capsule on time and departs from Athena-1 just before it explodes with the rat inside it. However, the scratch damage caused by the creature causes the capsule's window to shatter, destroying the entire capsule and killing Carrie instantly. On Earth, Davis Okoye, a primatologist who works at San Diego Wildlife Sanctuary, leads Nelson, Amy, and Connor into a gorilla enclosure. Davis tries to interact with the newest member of the club, Pavo, who seems still quite aggressive, but he manages to calm him down with a sign language. Suddenly, an albino gorilla who has become Davis's best friend for a long time, George, comes in, which makes Connor panics and runs away. Seeing Connor running away, Pavo runs after him until George knocks him over. Despite that, George seems to have a great sense of humor and likes to make fun of people. Davis reminds George to be friendly towards Pavo because the poachers killed his entire family and he is now an orphan gorilla. Davis asks George to do a fist bump, but he gives a middle finger instead, which makes others laugh. As Davis drives home that evening, the 3 canisters, which were retrieved by Carrie previously, arrive on Earth. The first one lands at the gorilla enclosure, spraying George with the gas within it, while the second one lands in the forest near a pack of wolves and one of them is exposed with the gas. The last one splashes in a river of the Everglades National Park, where it is swallowed by a crocodile. The next day, Davis is told about George's strange behavior, who suddenly invades a grizzly enclosure. Upon arrival at the enclosure, he is shocked to see a grizzly has been cruelly killed by his best friend. He admits that he is the one who slaughtered the bear and apologizes to Davis. The gorilla has also surprisingly become much bigger than yesterday. The team manages to find the canister and Davis recovers it. On the other hand, Brett, Claire's brother, who is also a stakeholder in Energen, is very furious when he discovers that his mini space station is completely destroyed and his company's stock is plunging. However, Claire seems satisfied and doesn't care about the money she lost, because the successful mutation proves that the Project Rampage experiment is successful. She is also very confident that they still have hope in the project, because the report from the American Meteor Society reveals the location of one of the samples, causing her to immediately hire a private military service to retrieve the canister before anyone can trace it back to Energen. The military team is led by Burke and he and his team are heading towards Wyoming, the place where the second canister was landed. Upon arrival, Burke reports to Claire that the canister is severely damaged and discovers that all the wolves have been slaughtered. Realizing that the remaining wolf is infected, she orders him to capture the wolf, dead or alive. Davis studies the result of George's blood work and says that it doesn't make any sense, as his blood has lethal concentration of growth hormone which can kill him instantly. Having heard about the Athena-1 disaster and news about George escaping the enclosure on TV, Dr. Kate Caldwell, former employee of Energen, immediately goes to the sanctuary. There, she meets Davis and admits that the canister landed on George's enclosure is her sample. Davis allows her to join the research and she explains the pathogen inside the canister works by editing George's gen, causing him to grow rapidly and become aggressive, because she developed the mutagen. She claims that she is the only one who can cure George from the disease. Suddenly, George becomes enraged and eventually breaks out from his cage, storming through the sanctuary and terrifying all the guests. Davis tries to calm him down and orders the police to lower their gun. It works, however. A sniper from the helicopter starts firing tranquilizer darts until he passes out. As they travel deeper into the forest, Burke spots the mutated wolf, Ralph, and manages to shoot him from the helicopter. They then land to find the presumed dead wolf's body, but discover a massive wolf's paw print on the ground, which makes them panic. A few moments later, Ralph starts attacking and begins eliminating Burke's team members one by one until only Burke remains. Their weapons, even a machine gun from a helicopter, don't work against him because Ralph has developed a bulletproof skin. Ralph also has turned into a very massive and monstrous wolf that allowed him to leap towards the air and destroy a helicopter. Frustrated and cornered, Burke attempts to fight the wolf for the last time but is devoured by Ralph. Davis and Kate are captured and meet specialist Harvey Russell. Prior to being taken on board the plane that is shipping George, in the plane, Russell questions the two of them and dreams on Davis' experience with armed force unique powers and the assembled country's exceptional enemy of poaching team. He then uncovers that Kate really was terminated from Energen a long time back after she endeavored to take the organization's hard drives, making her be placed in jail for a considerable length of time. This reality makes Davis frustrated and doesn't have confidence in her any longer since she misled him, and she concedes that she can't fix George. In the Energen office, Claire perceives Kate and predicts that she is gathering proof to screw them, implying that Kate is a danger to them. She additionally uncovers that the organization has really finished the solution for the changed animals called R19, which will stop their development and decrease their animosity. She then intends to draw every one of the transformed animals to their office by utilizing low-recurrence radio waves, where the tactical will kill them, and Claire and Brett will have the chance to gather their DNA and bring in cash with it. She is likewise sure that George, who is still on a similar plane with Kate, will escape from it and kill her, taking out her as a danger to the organization. She then enacts the gadget, which makes Ralph unexpectedly quit destroying around and begins running towards the radio waves. Source: the crocodile who gulped the canister before additionally is impacted and begins going towards the pinnacle. As expected, George, in spite of being quieted, abruptly awakens, annihilates the enclosure, and starts destroying ruin. Individuals begin discharging at him with weapons, yet bargain no impact by any stretch of the imagination towards George. Tragically, somebody coincidentally shoots combustible stuff, making it detonate and annihilate the plane's turbine. Not long before the plane accidents, Davis figures out how to join parachutes for himself, Kate, and oblivious Russell and launch themselves from the plane, departing George inside it. George endures the plane accident and promptly heads towards the Energen's pinnacle. Claire discovers that Kate likewise endures the plane accident. While the FBI specialists show up at Energen and demand to do a full assessment of the organization's records, Claire needs to put all the fault on Kate. In this way, she tells the FBI specialist that Kate is the person who is liable for all the mayhem happening at present. Kate endeavors to recapture trust from Davis by letting him know that she created CRISPR to fix his sibling, yet the organization was subtly utilizing it to construct a weaponized DNA. She attempted to obliterate it, yet was gotten and shipped off jail. Her sibling passed on while she was in jail. In the wake of hearing that, Davis is contacted and chooses to work along with her once more because of Russell. Them three are protected and brought to the Scott Flying Corps base. There, Davis sees film of George and Ralph running together. He then, at that point, makes sense of that it is beyond the realm of possibilities for two species, a gorilla and a wolf, to go in an orderly fashion to a similar objective. Kate adds that the two of them are being called by something and can't be halted. Kate and Davis are brought external by the officers, yet Davis figures out how to take them out, and with the assistance from Russell once more, they escape from the base by utilizing a helicopter. They are going to Energen HQ to take the cure. On the opposite side, the tactical endeavors to stop the monsters, yet bombs as they clear out the whole armed force. Thus, the colonel chooses to clear Chicago, where the monsters are making a beeline for, and Russell illuminates that to Davis. The monsters have shown up in the city and the military is overpowered to hold their development, even subsequent to utilizing a lot of tanks and helicopters. A couple of seconds after the fact, the changed crocodile joins the party and starts unleashing destruction in the city. Left without any choices, the Colonel arranges his team to set up the enormous bomb which can clear out portion of the city. Russell attempts to mediate in the choice and lets him know that Davis and Kate are en route to get the antitoxin. However, he dismisses the idea since they have taken his helicopter. The stream that steals the enormous bomb has removed and is going towards the city. Davis and Kate figure out how to get inside the HQ and track down the remedy, yet they are spotted by Claire. Claire shoots Davis in the stomach and they are compelled to surrender the counteractant to her. From that point forward, they move to the highest point of the structure, letting Davis be and accepting Kate as a prisoner. Not long before they take off, George comes to the top and crushes the helicopter, which nearly kills Kate, yet Davis comes on time and saves her. Kate uncovers that she figures out how to conceal a remedy with her that will be infused to George. Later, they are stood up to by Claire. However, Davis figures out how to divert her and Kate slips the remedy she has to Claire's pack, hitting her upside the head prior to getting eaten by the gorilla. In the interim, Brett, who endeavors to get away from through the ground floor, meets Russell and hands him over the PC and the guinea pig. From that point onward, he takes off, however is squashed by falling trash, while George is as of now feeling the impact of the cure. Davis and Kate figure out how to escape from the structure with the wrecked helicopter. Not long before the structure breakdowns on account of the wrecked chopper, they land securely and make do. They figure that George has gotten back to his ordinary self and safeguard them from the leftover monsters. Davis orders Kate to track down a telephone and calls Russell to drop the airstrike, while he furnished himself with an explosive launcher and joins the beast battle. After the serious fight between the gorilla and the wolf, the transformed crocodile joins the combat zone and figures out how to chomp Ralph in his neck and kill him. Kate at last meets Russell and he figures out how to trade his guinea pig with the fighters' telephone that will be utilized later to cancel the airstrike. It's currently the crocodile versus George, yet it appears to be that George is battling to beat it. Davis helps him by tossing a belt of projectiles into its neck which detonate. Yet the crocodile recuperates and throws the gorilla against a steel bar that spears him in the chest as the crocodile approaches George and gets ready to polish him off. Davis utilizes the gunfire and rockets from the messed up helicopter to occupy it. Thus, the crocodile pursues Davis and almost kills him. Fortunately, George, who furnished himself with the steel rebar, jumps out of sight and smashes it into the crocodile's eyes, at long last killing it. The Colonel, who sees that the crocodile has been killed, requests to cut short the airstrike mission. George fakes his passing, which makes Davis extremely miserable, while Russell and Kate show up there. Nonetheless, Davis grabs George's attention, jerking and his hand moving, uncovering that he is simply playing around, and George gives his particular center finger to Davis. Together, they choose to empty the regular citizens from the city while choosing where they ought to put George. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new movie recaps.